From the very second you grab your phone in the morning to that last scroll before you fall asleep, you're moving through this huge invisible world. And this world, it has its own rules, its own consequences, and a memory that, well, it lasts forever. So today, let's take a walk through a typical day online and really unpack what it means to be a responsible digital citizen. So just for a second, think about it. What story did your clicks actually tell today? Every single search, every like, every message you shot off, it all pieces together a story about who you are. And the real question is, are you the one holding the pen? Because the moment you connect, you start casting what's called a digital shadow. It's this permanent trail of data that you leave behind with every single thing you do, whether you're thinking about it or not. Now, this trail is what we call your digital footprint. And I love this description of it as a digital tattoo. It's perfect, right? Because it's permanent. Once it's out there, it is so hard, if not impossible, to get rid of. And it's constantly shaping your online reputation every single day. And this footprint, it really has two sides to it. On one hand, you have your active footprint. That's the stuff you know you're sharing. You know, the photos you post, the online forms you fill out. But then there's the passive footprint. This is all the data that's being collected in the background, like your phone's location, the cookies that websites are installing, your browsing history. Both of them together are building your digital identity 24/7. Okay, so once your footprint is out there, it starts mixing with millions of others. You're not just leaving a trail anymore. You're now part of this massive, bustling digital society. And just like any society, there are unwritten rules of the road, an etiquette for how we all get along without crashing into each other. People often call this whole concept netiquette, and the main idea behind it is pretty simple. It's all about making the internet a space that's responsible, safe, and positive for everybody. And this isn't just some nice-to-have suggestion. It's literally the bedrock of a healthy online community. So in practice, this means doing things like respecting people's privacy and their differences, and just taking a beat before you hit share. But the don'ts are almost more interesting. We're told not to feed the trolls, right? Because that's the attention they want. And this one's great. Avoid sarcasm. Why? Well, think about it. Without your tone of voice or body language, that witty joke can easily land like a straight-up insult, and suddenly you've got a pointless fight on your hands. Now, your day online isn't just about scrolling and consuming stuff. A lot of the time, you're actually creating it. Maybe it's a photo, a blog post, or even just a funny comment. The moment you create something new in the digital world, a whole different set of rights and responsibilities pops up. Suddenly, you're an owner. And this brings us into the world of intellectual property rights, or IPR. It's basically the legal system that makes sure the things you create with your mind, your art, your inventions, your ideas, are protected. It's what allows you to get credit and maybe even make a living from your original work. Okay, so the first one, and the one you've probably heard of most, is copyright. This automatically protects the expression of an idea. So it doesn't protect the general idea of, say, a wizard who goes to a special school. But it absolutely protects the specific book you write about him with your unique characters and your specific story. A patent, though, is totally different. It's not about artistic expression. It's all about function. It protects inventions and processes, like a new kind of engine, a specific chemical formula, or a clever bit of software. This is something you have to officially apply for to get protection. And then you've got trademarks. This is all about branding. A trademark protects the symbols, the names, the slogans that let you know what a product is and who made it. Think about a famous swoosh logo or that catchy jingle for a fast food place. That's a trademark. So what if you want someone else to be able to use your creation? Well, that's where licensing comes in. It's just a legal agreement where you, the owner, give someone permission to use your work, but only under the specific rules that you set. So far, our digital day is looking pretty good, full of opportunities. But let's be real. We all know the internet has its darker corners. So let's shift gears and talk about the threats you might run into and, more importantly, how you can sidestep them. One of the biggest threats is a direct attack on those rights we just talked about. Plagiarism. And let's be really clear about this. It is intellectual theft. It's taking someone else's work, their creativity, their effort, and slapping your name on it. It's a huge ethical problem, whether it's online or off. And then there's something I'm willing to bet almost everyone watching this has seen. Phishing. This is pure digital trickery.
A scammer pretends to be someone you trust, like your bank or a package delivery service, to fool you into giving up your sensitive info. It's that email that screams, "Urgent, click here now to verify your account."
So how do you actually defend yourself? It's not about memorizing a bunch of rules. It's more about having a mindset of, let's call it healthy skepticism. Use strong, unique passwords for everything. Treat links and attachments in emails you weren't expecting as guilty until proven innocent. And just be really careful with your personal info. It's way more valuable than you think.
All right, as our digital day starts to wind down, let's zoom all the way out. All of these little individual actions, our footprints, our chats, our creations, they don't just disappear into thin air. They all add up to a much bigger legacy, one that has very real consequences in the physical world. For one thing, your actions online carry real-world legal weight. In India, for example, the Information Technology Act of 2000 creates the legal rulebook for everything from e-commerce to cybercrime. What you do online is absolutely subject to the law of the land.
But here's a consequence we almost never think about: the physical mess. Every single device we use, our phones, laptops, everything, eventually becomes e-waste. And the scale of this problem is just mind-blowing. Globally, e-waste makes up more than 5% of all the trash our cities produce. That's a mountain of hazardous junk, and it's coming from our digital lives. The solution, thankfully, is a pretty simple idea we've all probably heard before: reduce, reuse, recycle. First, reduce. Just ask yourself if you really need that brand new gadget. Then, reuse. If a device still works, don't trash it. Give it a second life by donating or selling it. And finally, recycle. Make sure your old electronics go to a proper recycling center where they can be broken down safely. And that brings us to the end of our journey. We've seen how every click leaves a permanent mark, that our digital society has a code of conduct, and that all our actions have consequences that last. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. Your digital footprint is permanent. It's the legacy you are building right now. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it?